Hi, I'm Sarah Noble, your host for the Modern Day Intuitive Podcast. For over 25 years, I've been on a spiritual journey, searching, learning, expanding, and growing. I've traveled the world, led by my heart, on a quest to know myself so that I can support others. This podcast was created from my deep desire to help you connect with your intuition and to inspire you to create a life where the impossible becomes possible and you live into your sacred dreams and desires. Thanks for being here and enjoy the show. Hello, my loves. It's great to be here with you today. And before we dive into our episode on ego death, I wanted to remind you that Alchemy, a School for the Soul, is enrolling for January mentorships. So if you hear your soul calling to you, you want to go deeper into the ancient mysteries, into shamanic mythology, journeying, meditation, energy work, all the deliciousness that is the unseen world, I'd love to get on a call with you. There is a link in the show notes to reach out to me, and let's see what magic we can create together. So, as you might hear, my voice is a little scratchy today, and I have been in this process of ego death, and spiritual molting is the way that I can describe it. And so I wanted to speak to this today because it is a real thing on this spiritual path. We have been led to believe that everything is love and light, and if you just commune with God and nature, then everything's wonderful. And that's not my experience. Yes, life is alive and magnificent and wonderful and so much better than when I was doing it alone. Yet, it doesn't mean that there aren't ebbs and flows and that there aren't these places that are hard and challenging where the old part of us that is no longer working is dying. And it's dying so that the new you can emerge and step into more of who you came here to be. And so I'm always reminded of the caterpillar and how it goes into its cocoon and emerges as a butterfly. And you probably know this, but it was new to me probably in the last 6 months that inside that cocoon, the caterpillar actually entirely disintegrates. It becomes liquid, a goo that's in there. And then it comes together and reforms to create a butterfly. And this is what is so phenomenal about that metamorphosis, right? Is that the entirety of the caterpillar has to die and disappear and change so that the butterfly can emerge. And we're no different to that. And so this idea of who we were dying in sacrifice to the you that is emerging, the one that is more in alignment with the truth of you, the one that is more connected to spirit, more connected to your dreams, to your desires, to all the things you love. Oftentimes, to be that person, it's hard, it's challenging, it doesn't always feel great. And yet, it's important that in these moments that we don't get caught inside of the collective emotions, the collective thought patterns that want to tell us we're alone and that we might as well quit. And there's no point. What's the point? This just is crazy. This sucks. And what I know is that that's not you. That's just the voice of the collective. That's what you're leaving behind. And it really doesn't want to lose you. And so it's going to try everything it can to hold you and to have you believe what it's saying. And it feels so real, right? Like it really, that voice inside connects in with the tenderest part of our heart. And it knows exactly what to say to get a reaction, at least in my experience with myself. And I really have to be vigilant about believing those voices, believing those parts of me that are struggling so hard to not die. They're clinging to life. And as the world is changing around me, right, I am literally dying to my life, to the people around me. And this is a good thing. Life is all about ebb and flow, cycles, spirals, life, death, birth. It's just the nature of who we are in the world we live in. And the more we lean into that and embrace that, the less we struggle, right? That I'm reminded of that pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. And it is like we are going to hurt. We're human. We have emotions. We have a physical being that feels things. We have an emotional being that feels things. And yet the suffering piece that we put ourselves through, that's the part that's optional. That's the part that we get to determine how long we're going to live in that swirl, in that sort of dark alleyway, as I like to refer to it as, where oftentimes I take a side trip down there and then I remember, you know what, I don't need to be here. There are other options. There are other things that I can do. So if you find yourself in this molting place where the old is sloughing off, you're stepping out of your skin, right? Serpent, the medicine of the South and the Andean medicine wheel, teaches us to shed our past the way she sheds her skin, all at once, effortlessly. Although I don't know if it's effortlessly when we're in it, right? Maybe afterwards we can look at it that way. And yet this idea, right, of molting out of the old skin so that the new skin can be shown to the world. So I think it's really important when you're in this change, in this part of the cycle, that you pull out all your tools. You really stay connected. You engage in your meditation practice. You are being with spirit. You're in ceremony. You have an altar. You're pulling cards. Whatever that thing is for you that really calls you home, really keeps you out of the muck that the mind and the emotions want to create inside you. And stay clear on your intention, right? You're on this spiritual journey because this is who you are. This is what you came here to do. And it's a really great time to remind yourself of that. Remind your energetic body, remind your emotional body, your physical body, your mental body. Hey, this is our path. Like, we're not quitting. We're not veering. We are in devotion to this in this lifetime, and it's going to be okay. We're going to get through this, and you're going to see, we're going to fly. We're going to come out of the cocoon, and things will be different again. I promise. So, my loves, enjoy the goo if you can. It makes it a little less challenging. And reach out for support, right? We are not alone. That is one of the things this part of our process wants to tell us. It wants to say we're separate. It really wants us to buy into that story. And it's just not true. We are all in this together. We're here to support each other. And you are not alone. I love you. Namaste.
Thank you for being here today and making your personal and spiritual growth a priority in your life. To learn more about connecting with your dreams and your intuition so that you can create a life full of possibilities, visit me at www.themoderndayintuitive.com and see how we can create magic together. A big thank you from my heart to yours for making the planet a better place for us all.